Hey guys, welcome back to Evolving Mail. So today we're going to do new fenders for the 2016 Willys JK Wrangler. It's a two-door, but that doesn't really matter. We got new fenders, and I'm going to show you what they look like in just a second. I'm not there right now. Okay, so here's the new fender. This is going to go on right here in place of that. This will get painted either blue or a color to match the wheels. And yep, we're going to go ahead and take off these fenders right now. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we got to take off the inner fender well liner. The inner fender liner, and it's right down up underneath here. And it says 6 bolts, but I actually don't think there's that many. There's a couple bolts up in here, and they're 10 millimeter, and we're going to go ahead and take them off right now, and I'll show you how that is done very simply. You're just going to undo that. So you've got 2 regular bolts, and you got this one like long shanky bolt looking thing, and I think that's the rest of them are pop outs. And a good tool to have for that is to have one of these little tools you can get on Amazon. They're for removing plastic like interiors and stuff. And you just put that in there like that. Let me get a close-up. So you want to get one of these old plastic push pins out. You just put it in there like that, and you should be able to pull it out just like that without totally killing it. And we just got a few more to do. Pulling this damn thing out. There are some ones along the edge here, and these should just be a matter of getting behind them. You can also use a Phillips head screwdriver to get back in there. That was it. It's not too bad. It's actually pretty easy. We're actually going to trim this piece up and put it back in, but for now we're going to throw that off to the side. Then next up, we got to take the actual fender off. So the fender's got a few push pins in here as well. There's one right there, and there's a couple bolts. So we're going to go ahead and take out the couple bolts. There's a push pin, then there's a couple bolts, one up there, one there, and that should allow most of the fender to come right off. So let's try that. The other thing I did was I disconnected the plug for the side marker light, because this actually doesn't come with a plug or a side marker light, but we're going to add something to it. I'm not sure what yet. But I am going to put one on there because I think it's too dangerous not to. Plus, it's the law. Even with only really one screw holding it in, it's still staying up pretty good. These fenders are actually pretty strong. Even if they're ugly as hell. What the hell? Just got to kind of yank it off. Okay, once you get that, you've got a clip in here. I don't know if you can see, there's a clip in here holding this wire in. Just take that off, or set these off to the side. And there we go. We're going to go ahead and clean this up. And then start and doing the rest. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit. Yeah, so it looks like this piece right there is going to mount on that bracket, I think. Yeah, it's gonna look like that. Looks pretty good. Look at that. Good looking fender. Okay, so the next step we gotta do is there's a whole lot of steps we gotta do. So we got those off. We got the next thing we need to do is we need to trim this Fender Flare. And it shows you right here that we need to trim this off. So basically on the Fender Flare, we are going to take, let me see. Yeah, we are basically going to trim this whole piece off, this whole front piece off. We're going to trim it. We're going to trim it right down there, take that off, and we're going to trim this piece up here off. So it's just going to be this one side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here in a second. And after I do that, we're going to reinstall it using the factory clips. Okay guys, that was pretty easy. We're gonna go ahead and install this right back here. Try to figure out exactly where the hell we got it from. Shouldn't be too difficult. I'm guessing we're gonna have to do some rigging to make this hold a little better, because there ain't no way in hell that that's gonna hold that. Okay, so the little rivet nut tool they give you comes with a couple nuts and this and some other stuff, but basically how I figured out how to do it is just take the long nut, take the one, or a long screw rather, and take the one nut, back it all the way off, put the rivet nut, just thread that in there all the way till the threads get to the bottom. You want that because you want as much threads. We're gonna try to collapse this piece until it pinches. This will go in the hole, this will be on the outside. We're going to do that until that collapses and pinches the sheet metal of the body of the Jeep. This sucks, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're going to take that, we got that nut right about there through it. We're going to stick this in there. Once we get that in there, we're going to take that little jam nut, we're going to run this jam nut all the way up. Right like that. Okay. Then we're going to get our wrench so it tightens. I'm going to put this in there. I'll put that on that side. Now on this side, we're going to hold this piece right here. This is what sucks the most. Is you're going to hold this outside. You're going to hold the bolt, and we're going to tighten the nut down. And you got to be careful because you don't want to scratch nothing. You don't want to bust your hands like I did 300 times already. Keep doing that. Luckily that brass colored nut thing insert is weak. There is a tool for this, but it's quite expensive and I don't have one. And I'm kind of actually considering just using nuts on the inside, but I'm going to do this one time at least right. Damn, you can run the other side, babe. Hard, very difficult. So, really is difficult. And keep the nut pushed against the Jeep and not scratch the Jeep. This is absolutely sucks. The other two I did. It's like I have to work upside down. It's the only way. Once you start getting it, it's not too bad. But it's the first initial. See, every time I put torque to it, I pull it to the side. Yeah, it's a lot better with the ratchet. then that nut, this freaking rivet, it's done taking a shit, so it don't want to friggin' hold anymore.
We're gonna buy the tool.
It's like a 300 something tool.
Take it back.
I'm gonna put nuts on the inside and bolt it together like a normal freaking human being. So that's what not to do. The other two were half-assed, kind of went, but all it takes is to get one that slips inside there and ruins the threads, and now the threads are stuck. So I'm gonna have to cut that out. Okay, so I went ahead and I mounted it up here. I put some blue Loctite on these bolts, used the supplied flat washers. I'm just kind of getting this one on here. I got one more bolt that I didn't get one of them things on, but I'm going to go ahead and use just nuts from here on out. Bolts and nuts. Because it's friggin' ridiculous, quite honestly. This job should take no time. It should be very easy, but instead it's taking forever. It's taking me 2 hours to put 5 of those friggin' things on. Just ridiculous. So that's that, guys. I'm gonna go get some better equipment to work with. There we go. There it is right there. Sorry. So we come in from the front. That's the look there. I think it looks pretty good. I gotta figure out what to do with these lights right here, but I will do something. And then I'm gonna go get some better screws and finish this one up. I got 2 more screws to put in there, and then we'll do the other side. And the other side should take no time whatsoever. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so I'm going to take it for a walk around with the other camera, and that was it. That was pretty quick. That was 34, just under 35 minutes off to on. So that's pretty good, you know. And I did stop for about 5 minutes. I was talking to a neighbor. So other than that, I think it's pretty good. You're looking at 30 minutes each fender once you get the first one figured out, at least for the front. We'll see about the back. I'll do those tomorrow. Stay tuned. I think it looks pretty bang up. Let's take a look here. That's an aggressive look. I think it looks pretty good. It doesn't look cheap. The bumper's horrible, but we're working on it. Thing at a time. Thing at a time, guys. Give me a break. And then, of course, I got to get this red thing painted. I'm thinking it's hard to match this blue, the hydro, but I have a paint that's very similar to that, like gunmetal sort of titanium color there. So I think we're gonna do that because it'll match pretty good. So this Captain America look I got going on, and there's only one of those in the front. There's none in the back, so it's kind of strange. But I might have to do something to work that out. And then also, there's no side marker light, so I'm kind of thinking they have these flat like LED pads that light up, and I'm thinking of maybe putting one behind there, just like maybe this whole thing would be cool, just to light that whole insert to light up. That'd be pretty badass. So we'll see what I can find. Stay tuned for the rears tomorrow. Okay guys, so it's the next day and I decided to go ahead and do the rear fenders, but I ran into a problem. Yesterday on the front, I was trying to put those rivet nuts in there and get them tight, and I couldn't do it. So I went to the store and I bought some nuts, and I just used nuts in there. Well, lo and behold, when I get to the back, there's 3 or 4 that I can't get to. My hand can't get into the body because it's like a double piece body. There is a little hole I can get to one, but the other ones I can't get to. So there's no way to get to them. I have to get the tool. So I just ordered the tool on Amazon for $73. Had it shipped. It'll be here tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning I'll finish this off. But in the meantime, I still have to take the wheel off. And once I get the wheel off, I have to take the inner fender off, and the whole fender comes off, and I have to cut the inner fender down and put that back on. So I can get all that done, and then once I get that done, I can do everything else with the wheel on. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that now while I'm at it. So we're going to go ahead and take the wheel off, and the first thing we got to do is lift this up a little bit and break the nuts loose. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is you need to get in here and pop out all these pieces right here. But the easiest way to do it is just pull hard. Pull hard on this. Okay, now that's mostly loose, and the book or the directions say to drill these out, but what I actually found is if you just go ahead and grab this and pull on it, it'll come right off. So there you go, you got that off. Now what we need to do is we need to cut this inner fender off. Easiest way might be we're going to take a same thing we did yesterday. I'll give you some space here so you can see. So basically what we're going to do is we want to keep this inner piece. So there's a notch right here. We're going to cut from this notch all the way over to this little ear right here. There's a little ear. Can you see it? I can't tell what I'm looking at in the sun. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead. So we just got this inner piece right here. We're going to put it back on. Okay, so we got this piece right here. It's basically the inner fender. And while we're over here, we're going to clean this up, even though we're not ready to install this yet. We do got to take some of these pieces off. We'll do that first. So if you've got any, because I just yanked and pulled as hard as I could, a lot of these a lot of the push pins are in there. We're going to need these again, so clamp hard on them. Make sure you're pulling out by the body, not the little flap at the top. Sometimes you can get them with this tool. Okay, so now it leaves you with 1, 2, 3, 4 that are going to go in here. I'm going to put this up in here like that. Just line the holes. They are a pain to get in. They're a pain to get out. They're a pain to get in. But once they're in, they look like they're brand new, so it's all good. It's kind of up in there, a little flappy, but you won't see it when you got the other thing on there, so it'll be fine. There's really nothing else you can do because that's just the way it's going to be. So the big problem is you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. These 4 you can't get to, so you got to have those riv nuts in there, in order to get at it right there. So the other ones I can get behind it if I think, wait a minute, nope, this one I can't. This one, if I try real hard, I might be able to. Yeah, actually, so I can only get to like 2 of them. So I gotta have that tool. So there's no way around it. You're gonna need that tool. That, I tried again with that little tool that they give you. It thing sucks, man. I ain't never seen nothing suck quite as bad. It really sucks. All right, so that said, we can go ahead and put the tire back on and get ready for tomorrow. Okay guys, so this is the rivet tool that I got delivered overnight from Amazon. The only problem is somebody had this opened, and I don't know if they swapped the one they had out or not. You could tell it was opened, and the threads in this piece right here, this thing threads down, and it ain't right. So it keeps popping out. I managed to get the other side done, and I think I'm gonna manage to get these 10, these 10 done. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna try to do it. Okay, put the first one in, push it in, squeeze it, release it, and you turn this handle and it unscrews it. Otherwise you got to turn the handle, and in this case there's not enough room, so nice and tight. That's it guys, I'm going to take you around for a close-up here in a second. Okay guys, well I got the other side done, and this thing's a total bitch. Let me tell you why. So before you put the fenders on, you have to put these brackets on. Well, the problem with the bracket is, if you can see, you really can't see, but the bracket is sticking in at certain places about a ½ inch too far in. So when you put the fender on, fender's hitting the body. So there's no way to, like, literally there's the side of the bracket, right? There's the bracket right there, right here. Here's the bracket. Well, there's like 3 or 4 of them where the body sticks out this much further. These should be longer. They're okay in the front, but in the back, they're not right. So I don't want the body to rub. So what I went and got some weather stripping, and I put it on the inside of the fender. So when I push it in, it squeezes. So if it does touch, it's not gonna rub the body. And also what I did is I shimmed it on the inside here with a bunch of washers, and it's gonna hold, it's fine. It's not ideal, but you can't see it. All I could do is break these off, make new brackets, or send it back, and I've already ripped the fenders off. So when I'm all done, you still can see some blue in there, so I'm gonna take some of that bed liner and spray that bed liner black, and everything will be black, and coat it, and you won't see it, you'll never notice it. But for now, I have to pad these out with there's about 6 washers, I think, at one point on one of them. So, but the first thing you gotta do, you gotta take this little button head cap screws or whatever, and we're gonna put these in. We're gonna put these in here. Now it turns out I didn't need all of these bolts, all of those things, because some of them literally don't even touch. And there's several sizes of these smaller button head screws, but for the life of me, I can't figure out why. But the easiest thing is to do, just put the washer in there and drop the button head in and miss the hole completely, just like that. Right? Just get a couple of them started. When you get up there, just kind of go slow so you can not drop them. Once you go to put these fenders on, the bolts go through the fender side, and then these nuts go up in here. Well, the problem is the button head doesn't let the nut go in on some of them, so that's a huge ass problem. So I had to come up with a couple different ways. This one right here is barely big enough to get the button head even. It doesn't even fit. Look, that button head doesn't, or that screw, damn, the nut doesn't even fit doesn't even fit from the get-go. So there's no way to do that. All right, so there you go. So first things first, we're going to grab our, I think it's a number 4. And we're going to get some of these started right here. Just going to kind of get that started. Take a little blue Loctite. I'm just going to drop a little bit of blue Loctite in there on those bolts so they don't loosen up. I did see one review online that said they loosened up. Okay, tighten them down. Okay, those are tight. We're going to take this fender. I'm going to take it right down on the ground here. Take you right on the ground. We're going to set that fender down just like that. We're going to do the same thing with the alcohol. We're going to clean this with alcohol because we're going to put this weather stripping on here. It's a foam weather stripping for like door seals or whatever. And we are going to just line this right across the top here. Pull that off. And the same thing down here. We're gonna pinch this down. Now I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna take this down. This was 10 feet and it was just enough. Just enough. Okay, I mean perfect amount. So you can see I've got the, can you see that? It's on there now. I'm gonna set this on here. I'm gonna get this back up here. I'm gonna hold that bolt in place. I'm gonna put a little more Loctite in this nut. I'm gonna throw this nut on there just to get it on. Okay, now I can work with it. It's holding. Don't want to tighten anything up until you got all your stuff in line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take I got some long bolts. Now instead of attaching the bracket to the body and attaching this to the bracket, remember we can't get those nuts in there. So I got some long bolts. We're going to go through both of them into the piece behind it, into the insert. So what I got to do is I got to figure out how many washers I need to fill this gap, and it's a lot. It's a lot of. Just a tremendous amount of. It's like a inch gap almost, I swear. We're sandwiching these between the bracket and the fender, and it is a pain. These are a pain in the ass for the simple fact that it's hard to get everything in there. So now the hard part about this is they give you this little tool, which is kind of handy. It's a little tool, and the nuts that they have like a little washer built in. This fits right inside of there. That fits right inside of there. So you shove this up to the bracket on the bracket attached to the Jeep, and you put the fender on, and the bolt goes through, and it just holds it. So you have something to hold that and it's really difficult, to say the very least. As we get to the front, things start to work out a little bit better. We're progressively getting to nose spacers as we get to the front, because the front couple of brackets are the only thing that does work right. And this bolt is actually going to be too long, so we're going to use a shorter bolt. Okay, I'm just going to do one last check to make sure my seal's sitting here pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to find what I do with my brain. Take that little tool, put it up here so I can tighten this down. Okay, that's it, guys. So give me a second. We're going to take you around for a walk around and let you see what it looks like when it's all done. Okay, guys, so here we go. This is what the fenders look like on. You can see the strip I've got in there just to try to take it up, and then you can see in here. Let me see if you can get in here. I'll come in here with a better look. Okay, guys, so I'm going to take you in for a closer look, and then I'm going to show you something else I did, and you'll be able to see that in an upcoming video. So first, here we go. I have taken it and I took some of the paint, the bed liner paint, and I painted around here, and I painted the inside of that to kind of cover up the bolts. And you can see getting in there that I got those washers for spacers. It's a really huge amount. Let me see if I can get a little closer. Yeah, so huge amount of washers in there. I probably would have preferred to use like a UHMW plastic kind of material. It's like a bar, a hollow bar, but I didn't have the time to find, and I couldn't find it, and I was at home with the fenders off. So washers are fine, but I painted them, and then as we come up here, let me back out a little bit. As we come up here, you can see that I have I have a nut in there, and then a couple washers, and it slowly gets closer. But all in all, this thing is rock solid. It's not going anywhere. I'm not a huge fan of this right here. I'm looking for a better solution. This is what they tell you to do. It kind of sucks, but you really can't see it when you're standing out here. But just to let you know, this is the full what the fenders look like on the Jeep. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but on an upcoming video I will show you that I did install the same version, the same brand version of fender liners in the front. I just haven't found them from the back. I went ahead and I painted these to match, obviously, and then I put a spotlight here for a turn signal, which it's not a marker light, it's just a turn signal. I'm going to do probably some badge glows and use them for marker lights. But anyway, that's on an upcoming video. For now, this is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please hit like and subscribe, and I hope this helps you make up your mind whether you want to do this, and if it's maybe just a little, if nothing else, get that tool ahead of time, because what a pain in the ass. I am happy with the fenders. It was a lot of work. It took a couple days. It took about 3 days, over, not all day, but several different days to get it done. And but now that it is done, I'm happy with it. Like I said, I've got an upcoming video that will show you about the fender liners, and we got a lift coming. Got a 3.5 inch. It's a rough country lift, and a lot of you are cringing with the rough country, but I got it on my Gladiator. I'm not really having any problems other than the track bar bushings are wore out, but that happens with everything, it seems. So I got new bushings, and that'll be another video. But we do got the lift coming from this 3.5 inch lift. It's got traction bar drop down. So it's supposed to have everything. It was about $1,000. No, I'm lying to you. It was about $600, $650. So you know, it's a good solution. This is not going to be a mega off-road vehicle. We're more than anything a pavement princess with a little light off-roading, and then it's just a project. So when we're all done with it, we'll probably get rid of it and get something else. So stay tuned for that. Again, hit like and subscribe. Look for me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, because I got those too. And I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for checking me out and dealing with my tongue twisters. And anyway, hope you had a good time, and I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me comments. Always want to see comments. I'll try to get back to you guys right away. Thanks a bunch. See you later, and as always, peace out.